Hello and welcome to the Downsized Dish. I'm your host, Laraine Durham, and today we're here with Mindy, and we're going to be talking about her journey with GLP-1 medications. I've lost 49 pounds on the GLP-1, and it's my goal to share success stories of how other people have used these medications to lose weight. Today we're talking to Mindy, who has been on Mounjaro after being diagnosed with type 2 diabetes and is in the middle of her journey. It's great to have you, Mindy. Welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Mindy, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. I'm 63 years old. I've been married to my husband for 45 years. We have
Wow.
one son who is 40 and has two kids. So I have two grands, a
Oh,
4-year-old
nice.
boy and a 3-year-old girl.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm very busy being a grandma, which I love, and I work full time at a CNC machine tool manufacturer in the marketing department.
Oh, cool. I know. Is that like a CNC router? Is that a
A
thing?
little more complicated than
Okay.
that. CNC lathes and machining centers, big factory equipment.
Cool. My dad does some woodworking, so
Hmm.
that's the only reason I have a point of reference for that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that's great. Does your son and his family live nearby?
Yes, they live right down the road, so we get to spend a lot of quality time
That's
together.
awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Tell me a little bit about your journey and how you got on the medication.
Yeah, sure. So back in September of 2023, I came down with sepsis, and which is an infection of your blood, and ended up in the hospital. And they tested my blood for other things too, but found that my A1C was 10.2 and my blood sugar was out of control, which also was partly due to the sepsis. But they immediately started giving me insulin in the hospital. I was there for about a week until I could get well enough to leave. And then they sent me home with this pile of things that was just so intimidating: insulin pens, needles, lancets, the glucose monitor, the strip. They put a continuous glucose monitor on my arm, showed me how to look at that.
Yeah.
And I came home just totally overwhelmed. But I took it seriously and started immediately on a very low carb diet. And I was able to lose about 24 pounds in a couple of months. And I was able to also come off of almost all of the insulin. They had me
Oh,
on
good.
about 56 units a day, and I had gotten
Yeah.
down to about 11. But my weight just wouldn't budge after that. And I was doing
Hmm.
everything right, everything perfect. And so I asked my doctor, I said, I've seen some things about Mounjaro. Am I eligible for that? And she said, yes, I'm comfortable prescribing that for you.
Mhm.
And so that began my Mounjaro journey at the beginning of April.
Okay.
And since then, I think I'm in my 12th week,
Okay.
and I've lost another 24 pounds. So I've
Oh,
lost 48 pounds altogether.
awesome. That's awesome. So you're losing about 2 pounds a week. That's great.
Yeah, pretty much.
Now, are you still on the lowest dose, or have you moved through the doses?
Yeah, so I'm still on 2.5. It just so happened that the pharmacy that my insurance allows, the mail order pharmacy, happened to send a 3-month supply after I think my first one or two doses that I got from the local pharmacy. And
Mhm.
so I have a stockpile of that. And I know some
Ooh,
people would be jealous of that.
yes.
And then I also got titrated up by my doctor to 5. So I
Okay.
have that in the fridge as well. I think I have 2 boxes of that. So
Okay.
when I'm ready, I can move up, but it's
That's
still effective, so I'm staying.
yeah, a lot of people lose nothing on the 2.5, and I talked to another lady last week who was like a super responder to the 2.5, and she lost, I don't know, I think about 60 pounds total on the
Wow.
2.5. So you really just have to see how your body reacts. And I guess when
Mhm.
your weight loss stops, then you could go up, or when you run out of your 2.5, I
Yeah.
guess, then you'll go up. Have
Yeah, I
you
don't
had
think they're gonna
any,
let me go back, so yeah.
yeah, you might as well use it if you got it. Have you had any side effects?
Really, the only side effect that I've had and was duly warned was the constipation. So my doctor, yeah, I know I've heard your stories
Yeah.
too. My doctor, and I've had this issue before Mounjaro in the past. So
Yeah.
my doctor was like, remember how I told you you could take Miralax every day if you need to? You
Yeah.
can do that. So I don't take it every day, but I take it, pun intended, pretty regularly. So
Yeah, I haven't gone the Miralax route yet, but I know it's very effective. My doctor also recommended it. It seems to me, and maybe you have seen this with the 2.5, once your body gets used to a certain dose, you see the side effects decrease a little bit. I don't know if you've noticed
yeah,
that.
yeah, definitely. In the beginning, it was definitely, even though it's only the baby dose, right? It was definitely kind of a shock. And now I don't, because I think when it first started out, she told me I could take it twice a day, and I
Oh,
was. And now it's maybe every other day.
yeah.
So it's definitely things have gotten better.
Yeah. People always ask me, what are your side effects? And I'm like, constipation, but you can solve for constipation.
Yeah.
There's things you can do, and Miralax is certainly like top of the chain on that one. We have a before picture of you. Now you've just in the middle of your journey here, but we do have a picture from when you first started.
Yep.
And there you are.
My Bucky's shirt.
Bucky's, yay! No, we don't have a Bucky. Which Bucky's were you at here?
That's in Calhoun, Georgia.
Oh, nice. Were you on your way
Yeah.
to Florida or somewhere? Or?
I think we were on our way to Chattanooga.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we stopped at a Bucky's. I guess we were on our way to Orlando, and we just loved it. We always
Yes.
like to stop there.
It's a mecca.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, and this is you, I guess, more recently.
Yeah, it's maybe
Yeah.
a week or so ago. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Nice. Very good. Congratulations on your weight loss.
Yeah,
It
thanks.
sounds like you're doing great. You're losing how you should be losing. And tell me about what you're eating and how you're feeling when you're eating.
Yeah, definitely it's taken a little while to get used to how I feel when I'm eating. Remembering that I'm not going to be able to eat as much, especially at one time as I used to. So even today, I'm 2 days away from my next shot, and a little bit of hunger is coming back. And I was like, oh, I'll eat this protein bar that I always eat. And I ate the whole thing, and I shouldn't have, because
Oh,
half is plenty now. And I forgot that because I was feeling hungry and I just went, "Nah."
yeah.
But I do eat very low carb, and I try to get at least 120 grams of protein in because of
That's a
my
lot.
weight. I weigh more than you do. I know you're conscious of your protein as well.
Yeah.
And I try to stay under 70 grams of carbs a day, which usually I'm well below. I'm usually about
Yeah.
50, but it's not
Yeah.
keto, but
Right.
I'm diabetic. So I have to be careful of my carbs.
Yeah, that's
So
true. That's true. Yeah, I know you have to watch that with the and now you have I was gonna say, I thought something while you were talking. I tend to get more food on my plate than I need.
mhm.
Like, even still, like, this is my week, I think we're in week 35 or 36. We were at my cousin's daughter's graduation party on Saturday, and I went and filled up a huge plate of food. Like, I was like, "Oh, yeah, there's pasta and there's breadsticks, and I'll have some salad, and I got this huge plate of food," and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, "I can't eat all that." It's taken so long for my
Mhm.
brain to really know that, like you with the half the protein bar. It's really like you have to eat a little bit and then, like, listen to your body
Yeah.
maybe, but
Yeah,
yeah.
so I do a lot of that was a bad example, but usually I do a lot of, like, set my fork down, do my food 20 times, 30 times till it's gone, helping with that pre-digestion too,
Yeah.
to make sure that since it's slowing down my digestion, to give my stomach a break and try to chew it up as much as I can. And my husband does all the cooking for dinners because he only works
Mm.
part-time,
Mhm.
and he's gotten to know, like, how much I can eat. It's taken a while. I'm like, "Oh, you can't give me that much. Like, I can't eat that much." And
Yeah.
so he adjusted.
Yeah, Christopher, my husband, also does all the cookings, but he doesn't put food on my plate because 'cause I've yelled at him even before we started this. I've always been doing Weight Watchers or
Yeah.
some diet, and I was like, don't put that. It's too much. Let me put my own food on my plate. But yeah, and it's hard when someone else is doing the cooking for you, but it's nice to have someone do the cooking
Oh,
for you
yeah.
too.
I have him he knows exactly what I can and can't have. He writes me a little slip of paper with
Mhm.
because I track on MyFitnessPal, so he writes
Nice.
down everything, like how many grams of broccoli and how many grams of pork, and then the calories that he thinks. I usually double check that part, but
Yeah.
yeah, so he's very diligent about helping me take care of my health.
Do you count your calories? Like, do you have a calorie goal that you're trying to stay within?
Yeah, I don't wanna go too low. So that's what I'm tracking, and because I know tracking can be really triggering for some people,
Yeah.
but I heard it said this way, and that made me feel better, and that is track so that you're eating enough. Because if
Mhm.
I'm not careful, I'll only eat like 900 calories a day, and that's not enough, especially at my weight. I
Yeah.
try to have about 13 to I don't want to go under 1200, and I try 13 to 1400 because
Yeah.
I also exercise quite a bit. So I want to make sure that I'm getting enough.
That's good, the exercise. What kind of things are you doing for exercise?
So even at my heaviest, I was into triathlon.
Oh,
And so I always have trained for triathlon, whether I was doing it or not. I've only done some super sprints and done a relay where I did the half marathon for some friends who did the swim and the bike. But so, yeah, I'm either swimming, biking, running, weightlifting, some mobility stuff 6 days a week.
that's
Um,
awesome.
so, yeah, I need good energy for that as well.
Yeah, you definitely need the calories and the protein
Mhm.
for all that. Did you have you done the Ramblin' Rose triathlon?
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
my first one. Yeah, I did the one here in South Charlotte, and I've done the one in Huntersville near you guys too. Yeah.
Well, we might have been there at the same time because 'cause I've done the one in Huntersville
Oh,
too.
how
I did that was my
funny.
first one, and then I did the one in South Charlotte, but I think that it's been a few years. I think it was maybe 2016, 17,
Okay.
definitely pre-COVID.
Yeah. Yeah, I did my first one in South Charlotte in 2019.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did look you up on LinkedIn, and I saw that on your LinkedIn profile. I'm like, "Oh, a fellow triathloner."
Yeah.
Did you swim as a kid? For most people, swimming is the hardest part.
I grew up on Long Island, and so swimming in a pool or swimming at the beach was normal,
Yeah.
but I thought I knew how to swim.
Yeah.
And then they threw me in a pool and said, "Can you swim to the end of the lane?" Of course.
Yeah.
I swam to the end of the lane, never breathed once,
Oh,
and then was ready to die. Knew how to swim, like, I wouldn't drown, I could swim all day,
yeah.
but not that kind of swimming.
Yeah.
That took a lot to be able to swim even a couple 100 yards in the beginning.
Yeah, swimming is such good exercise, but it's so exhausting.
Yeah, yes, it's a hard skill to master if you didn't
Yeah.
grow up doing swim team or something like that.
Yeah, I did some swim teams, some summer swim team and a couple year-round swim teams, and I have 2 girls, and they did some summer swim teams. I love it, and now they're older, and they don't wanna do swim team anymore, and I'm like, "Oh, it's so sad." The gym where I go has a lap pool, and I thought, "Oh, I've been working out a lot. I'll go swim today for my workout." And I was in there 15 minutes, and I was like, "That's about all I could do." But I gotta get, like, a kickboard or, like, different things to do,
Yeah, a
like
pull
that.
buoy will help you a lot.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Do you have any races or events coming up in the future?
I am thinking about maybe doing the Huntersville one or going up to Chapel Hill. There's one at Lake Norman that I want to do, but I have a company event that I have to be out of town for, and I can't do it. So I'm very
Oh,
upset
yeah.
about that one.
And some
But
of those up near Lake Norman, you swim in the lake,
yes,
like
and
the
that would be
open.
my first open water swim, and I'm not real keen on that, but I need to get over that. So it was going to be maybe next year.
Yeah, we have a family friend who did a open water swim. He's done several. Like, he loves swimming. It's Christopher's uncle, actually. Did an open water swim several times, and I'm just, "What how do you know where you are?" Like, there's no that would be a lot. That's great. It sounds like you're gonna be to your goal weight, like, in no time now.
I hope so.
Yeah, very good. Are there any Any tips or any things you wish you knew when you started on the medicine?
One of the things that I wish I knew, but I guess it's a good thing I didn't know, was that Mounjaro, Zepbound, Tirzepatide is in such a severe shortage. And
Shortage.
I think I started like when it was the worst. Like it
Yeah,
seems like
April.
some of the doses are easing up a little bit now,
Yeah.
but I probably wouldn't have started. So now that I watch people like you guys, and there are a couple other YouTube folks that I like to watch, and
Mhm.
I hear people talk about compounds, I'm lucky that my insurance pays for my Manjaro
Yeah.
once I've met my out of pocket, which I have. So it's free for me until next
Ooh,
year. But seeing the compounds, and I'm fortunate that I could afford that if I need to.
yeah.
So knowing that there's something, I do feel a lot better. It's reduced my anxiety about that, the whole kind of Hunger Games situation with trying to get your drugs.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that's probably the biggest thing that, and the hope that you get when you first get it, and to feel like that's going to be snatched away. So once I
Yeah.
found out about compound, I
Yeah.
relaxed.
Since your insurance covers it for free, that's yeah, you I'd be knocking on every pharmacy door in town to get
Right.
that,
Yeah.
prescription filled. When Christopher was on Mounjaro for a while, we found it at CVS. We found it at a local pharmacy
Hmm.
that wasn't on the same distributor network as, like, the CVS's and the Walgreens. So that might be another avenue for you to try. We've also had some luck lately at Walgreens. Like, the Walgreens here near us said they had a lot of 7.5 boxes in stock. They had a lot of 2.5 so I think in spots, the shortage is easing up a little bit, but it's still and I found to call a pharmacy is almost impossible to get through to a pharmacist, so it's almost better just to go in there in person and be in front. "Hey, you got any
Yeah.
5 milligram Mounjaro? Huh, go fish."
Yeah, so my husband works part-time at Target, and there's
Uh-huh.
a Harris Teeter next door,
Yeah,
and our grocery store, and
yeah.
he made friends with the pharmacist over there. He
Ooh.
didn't have a lot of luck at the pharmacy in the Target, but he went over to Harris Teeter and said, "Hey, my wife needs this," and the lady took our phone number
Ooh.
and called us when she got some in, and took my prescription from the pharmacy I had it at and filled it now twice for me.
Oh,
So,
that's awesome.
yeah, I sent them a very nice note, and we're making
Yeah.
sure that we stay good friends with them.
Yeah, make friends with that pharmacist.
Yes.
They're definitely a lifeline. Yeah, and if you've been watching, you know that I've done the compounded through the
Yep.
whole time, and the compounded isn't cheap, but it isn't as much as if you don't have insurance coverage, it's a little
Right.
cheaper. And yeah, that is and there's no shortage with compound, so
Right.
there you always have that as a fail safe
I feel very good about that.
if everything else fails.
My husband is Japanese, so we eat a lot of Asian food, but we had to make an adjustment because Japanese food is rice, breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yeah.
So rice went away. He's pre-diabetic,
Okay,
so
so
he doesn't
he's
eat
watching.
rice on the reg either.
Yeah,
So we do a lot of cauliflower rice, and then
okay.
usually like we eat a lot of roasted vegetables, and then whatever protein it might be, chicken or pork or even beef. But he makes my lunch for me every day. He makes
Aw.
it for the week, and it's in the refrigerator with my little note about what's in it. And so I take that to work with me every day. In the morning, I like to have an egg witch, which is 2 patties of egg with sausage and cheese in the middle, so there's no bread.
Ooh.
And then
Ooh.
Faye fat-free Greek yogurt. I don't eat the fat-free because it's fat-free. I'm not worried about the fat, but it's the one I like. So everybody thinks it's really bland, but it's the one I like. So
Yeah, I like that Fia. It's kinda
Mhm.
like a richer, thicker kind of
Yeah,
feel to it.
yeah,
Mhm. Yeah, I'm always looking for good protein breakfast options.
yeah, yeah.
You mentioned a protein bar. Do you use any other protein supplements?
I don't really care for milk, even though I like yogurt. So
Mhm.
any kind of protein stuff that's very milky, usually I
Mhm.
don't care for, but I tried the Fairlife chocolate, and I did not like it. But
Okay.
I tried the Fairlife, that one that has 42 grams of protein,
Yeah. Yeah.
core or something. That one, I thought, no way I'm going to strawberry. I loved it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So we're going to have a few of those for those times when you just don't have time or not feeling like eating, but you need to get some protein. So yeah, I
Yeah.
think those will be, I'm trying all the flavors. So those will be my go-to soon.
I didn't know they came in strawberry. I've seen the chocolate and the vanilla. I'll have to look for that strawberry. My
Yeah.
husband's allergic to strawberries, so
Oh, good. Then he won't steal your protein drink.
yeah, he doesn't care for protein shakes anyway, but
Oh,
that's all me. But I put them in my coffee in the morning and use them to supplement other things. Like it's because I find it's really hard to hit those protein targets.
it can be. Yeah, it
Yeah.
really can. I like meat sticks. I carry meat sticks with me everywhere,
Oh,
chomps
wow.
or Archer. I can't remember their full name, but Archer something. I carry, I'm trying to think what else I carry around with me. Low carb protein bars. They can't have a lot of carbs. And then because I am diabetic, I have to have things with me to combat hypoglycemia.
Oh,
So when I'm working out, sometimes my blood sugar will really drop low.
yeah.
So I used to carry glucose tablets, but now I carry jelly beans. And I might just eat 4 jelly beans and that'll like bring, I don't really
Boost it.
care for them generally, but I have some and they
Yeah, there's some, like, gels, like, when I was running a lot, there's, like, those gels and things, but jelly beans they're great portable, just pop them
yeah,
in,
because
keep going.
I tried the gels because I always used them when I ran or did triathlon,
Yeah.
but they're 100 calories
Mm.
for, so that's a lot of sugar. It's not
Yeah,
even
it seems
about
like a
the
lot.
calories, but it's too much sugar and then it
Sugar.
spikes my blood sugar.
Yeah,
So I'm
we
trying to
have the
like
opposite problem.
a few at a time with the jelly beans and see what that does.
Yeah,
And yeah, that's been a good option. So I'm gonna try to continue with that.
good, I'm glad you found something that works there.
Hmm.
Okay, well, it's been great talking with you,
Yeah,
Mindy.
great
Um,
talking with you.
yeah, I think you're on a great track. We'll have to check back in with you
Yeah,
in a couple
sure.
months. I think you're gonna be where you wanna be in no time. So, great job, you're
Thank
doing great.
you. Thanks, thanks. You guys have helped me a lot too. Your channel really inspires me, so I
Oh,
really
thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you. We wanna just tell people about it. Tell Are you gonna you mentioned your mom.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to tell my mom now. She
You're gonna have to
doesn't
tell your
know,
mom.
but I think
Yeah,
I'm in a good enough place now that it won't freak her out. So I'm gonna
yeah,
tell her.
yeah, that's good. I don't know if was growing up, did you ever have, like, a weight issue? Were your parents ever, like, telling you to lose weight like mine were?
Not telling me to lose weight, but definitely had a weight issue my entire life, and I've lost the same 80 to 100 pounds 3 times now. So my
Ah,
doctor was like, "This is the time,"
this is
and
it.
I
Yeah,
think it will be. I'm
yeah,
63 years old, so I gotta get it right.
yeah. Get this stuff, like, under control. I think this is the perfect way to do it. And I think as I go toward maintenance and I figure out what that looks like, people ask me, "Well, are you gonna have to be on this forever?" And I'm like, "Well, maybe."
Mhm. Maybe not. Yeah,
Maybe in some form, but I'm okay with that. If this is what works, if this is what we need to do, then I'll
yeah,
do it.
I agree.
Yeah. Great. Thank you, Mindy. It was great having you on the Downsized Dish today. Thank you for coming on. If anyone out there would like to be interviewed on the Downsized Dish, send me an email to ldurham@folio28.com. And be sure to like and subscribe to our channel. And actually, this Thursday, we're going to be doing a Downsized Live. So we're going to go on YouTube and be live at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And we'll take questions and answer anything you guys want to ask us. So I hope we'll see you guys then. Please like and subscribe. And that's it. I'm Laraine Durham for The Downsized. Thanks for watching.